Welcome back to Lost in a Tangent. We try to keep our sanity watching a bunch of movies. Today we're talking about Alien. Before we get started, I was really excited to watch the show, mainly because of Timothy Oliphant, but excited nonetheless. The idea of xenomorphs making it to Earth was something every other project alluded to. I never thought that I would want to see that become reality, because that would take the suspense of the idea. The limited crew with limited knowledge and resources versus a seemingly unstoppable force was what made Alien. But then I saw the trailer and I thought, maybe this could be good too. The first episode started out really interesting, but then it rapidly became excruciatingly boring, and then suddenly infuriatingly incompetent. So the episode starts out on board a ship after a pretty successful mission. There are a lot of survivors. And then there's this fucking weirdo on board that likes to watch the female crew members sleep, which doesn't make any sense. Shouldn't they have been psychologically evaluated? The writers clearly didn't think about psychological evaluations. It's a kind of a running theme. Anyways, we cut to a cancer patient about to undergo a medical procedure, and we finally get introduced to Timothy Oliphant. And wow, was it disappointing. Don't get me wrong, he does a great job, but making him the lifeless android was really disappointing. Anyway, it turns out that they can put a human mind into a synthetic body to cure aging. It's being run by this young genius.
And I use the term loosely.
He has an obsession with Peter Pan. He owns a company called Prodigy and calls his island Neverland because he wants to stop aging. Like on Neverland.
Get it?
But the writers completely fucked this up. The whole idea of Neverland and the Lost Boys was the fear of growing up and wanting to stay children forever. But instead of showing the complexities and the complications of that idea, they instead do the exact opposite of the Peter Pan story and put children in adult bodies, then force them to grow up faster. For the dumbest reason ever.
At the very least, my hope is that by giving Wendy a supercomputer for a brain and training by the best geniuses money can buy, I'll finally be able to have an interesting fucking conversation.
He wants to have a conversation with someone smarter than himself. She suggests talking to Timothy. He says that because he's a robot with a supercomputer with access to all the information available, he just passes on other people's philosophy as his own, which in his eyes is not intelligence. So he put a child's mind inside a synthetic body, equipped it with a supercomputer with access to all the information available, as though that's somehow different to Timothy. She has no capability of understanding the information that she has access to, and therefore you can't have a meaningful conversation with her. The first scene we saw Timothy in showed that he was capable of having a personal, nuanced perspective.
It scares me.
Think of how a scorpion must feel, trapped under glass, menaced by giants.
It's not as though he can't have a meaningful conversation with Timothy, he just won't have one, because Timothy isn't technically human, which is dumb. She just has access to the information. She doesn't know how she's doing it, she's just doing it.
What just happened?
She rewrote the code somehow.
Did we know? Did we give her that skill?
So most of your interesting conversation would just be,
But how did you know? I made you! How did you know?
I thought the idea of putting children in superhuman bodies would be a cool concept to explore, but the writing and the directing is really bad. The writing is bad because they don't spend any time on that concept except during a very exposition heavy scene.
How are you feeling today? These are weird. Your breasts. They're weird. They move around when I run. You are in an adult body now. Why?
Because synthetic bodies don't grow.
Shouldn't you guys have discussed it earlier? Unless this is the very next day and they allowed her to do this immediately. I mean, they didn't even have a scene of her being excited to be able to walk again. And the directing is bad because this woman is struggling to grasp the concept of acting as a child in an adult body. She's in scenes in which she needs to express fear. And children don't know how to express nuanced emotions like fear and anxiety. They can express terror, which quickly becomes sadness or happiness. And also, the synthetic bodies don't create chemicals and therefore they have to simulate the emotions. So either she struggles to portray emotions as a child due to her not being one, and the director is very unuseful, or she's expertly displaying how a child without the concept of anxiety and without the chemicals to create that emotion portrays fear. Without the understanding or the ability to feel fear, but knows that certain situations would make them feel this way and therefore would want to feel fear but can't physically portray it. And it's too good that it doesn't translate onto camera. Or she's bad at acting and I just wasted everybody's time.
Right?
Anyway, the ship mission goes to shit and they crash into a building. Somehow, a giant spaceship with no control re-entering the atmosphere didn't create the crater when it landed. And this is where the show went from excruciatingly boring to infuriatingly incompetent. Turns out she, Wendy, has a brother that works for him as a first responder. And the ship happened to crash into his building.
What are the odds?
Anyway, they go to the crash site with fully automatic weapons as first responders. Why? Quick tangent. This is the fastest elevator I've ever seen. The future must be fucking crazy. This man has Luffy level plot defense. Anyway, when you ask if they can go help, because they have super strength and highly durable bodies. So he, the genius, agrees to send children with billions with no training or discipline into a traumatic and highly dangerous unknown environment.
You can follow orders, right?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro.
You are the dumbest
smart person I have ever met in my life.
Then episode 2 was somehow worse, in new and exciting ways. The cyborg keeps acting like a synth, so they should have just made him a synth. They continuously shoot the xenomorph in these wide shots, completely ruining what makes it so scary. That's clearly a dude in a suit. Also, there's new information that I was either too ignorant to know or too stupid to grasp. Apparently, xenomorphs don't try to keep their prey alive for reproduction and just kill indiscriminately. And apparently, they're attracted to fear.
Just take calm, friend. They can sense fear.
And also, apparently, this thing is almost as strong as someone that can do shit like this and this. So that's episode 2. And unfortunately, I was too stupid to enjoy it. All jokes aside, they did make a xenomorph into a pet, so I'm fucking done. So fuck off.
You see? You see? I mean, they're just pissing on us without even the courtesy of calling it rain.